guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how I make my beef steak. This is the way I make it. There is one ingredient that I am adding today that is new and I've never used before, but it's the flavor that I like in most of my dishes now. So I'll show you how to make that. So we have a family of 7, that's including me, and we like to make large family size meals. So the amount that I'm cooking today is not going to be for one sitting, but for multiple sittings. The beef steak that I am going to show you, you can actually marinate it and refrigerate it, or even put it in the freezer. And on a day that you're not really wanting to cook, you can take it out of the freezer for the morning and then cook it for that evening. Starting off with my seasonings, I have the Kikkoman soy sauce. You could use coconut aminos, but when I go shopping, I just try to find what's the least expensive. And this is a good amount that they sell at Costco, so that's what I picked up. Then you're gonna use fine ground black pepper. And the extra seasoning that I was talking to you about is a chili chipotle powder I found in my local grocery store for 99 cents. And I'm gonna add that to my beef steak for today. Then you have your basic onion and garlic and your lime. I love the lime better than the lemon. It gives it more of a unique flavor. And if you marinate, the meat is going to taste so much better. Over here in the bowl, I have over 6 pounds of top London broil. I bought this for $2.99 a pound, so original price was $3.99. I'll be slicing this very thin, and that way you don't have to marinate it overnight, but I do recommend it for better flavor. Starting off, I'm just gonna take my knife sharpener. This is what I have, so this is what I'll use. And I'm just gonna go ahead and sharpen my knife. Off camera, I did sharpen my knife a little bit better, so it has a sharper edge. So I'm just gonna go ahead and slice this lime. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze the juice out of it. I have my large plastic bowl, which I'll be marinating the meat with, and this has a cover, so this is perfect to go into the refrigerator and cover the meat. I'm gonna start to squeeze the lime juice out of this lime. I like using this spoon, it really gets all the juices out. You can also leave this whole rind into the marinade, but this is something right here I don't want. So this is one whole lime. You can use 2 if you want. So I have also 6 pounds of beef. If I had less, maybe I can also use less. I slice up the rinds and I'm just gonna dump it in here. Next, I'm gonna slice my onion. I don't slice it all the way. And it comes out the perfect size. And then I'm going to put it into the bowl. Then I'm going to take my garlic. I just stick the knife in to just try to separate them. And what makes this really flavorful is a lot of garlic. You could use the whole clove, and I might just do that, or the whole bulb, because I have over 6 pounds of beef. Something that I learned many years ago, probably when I was a teenager. There was a show called Walk Can Cook, and the guy basically showed us how to take the peel off the garlic. So the way I do it, and I've been doing this for years, and this is just the way I like to do it, is just to take the garlic, try to stand it, and then take a knife and just pound it. Pound the knife, just be careful and don't get cut. And the garlic peel comes right off. Like this. So I'll be doing it for all of them. Let me do one more. Now some of them you can't stand, so I just lay it flat and just try to pound it with the knife that way. Let me do one more time. Okay. Some people might not want to recommend this way because number one, they can get hurt, which I have never so far, and number two, you may ruin your knife. After you have your garlic peeled, you're just gonna go ahead and chop or slice the garlic. It doesn't have to be perfect, just cut it small. Okay, that's good enough. Take the bowl and put all of the garlic into the bowl. Because I have a lot of beef, it's over 6 pounds of beef, I'm going to use 1 full cup of soy sauce. And again, you can use coconut aminos. And that's plenty. Now, if you don't want to add the full cup, you don't have to. Or you can use low sodium soy sauce. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. The new seasoning that I'll be adding to my beef steak is the chili chipotle powder. This is the first time I'm adding it to the beef steak. I found this at my local grocery store. It's not too spicy, but it does give it an extra flavor. So I'm going to use about a half a teaspoon of that. Maybe more. I think I'll add one more. So a full teaspoon. I'm making this as I go. After that, just give it a mix. Now I'll be slicing the beef. This is about half of the package, so approximately 3 pounds. And I'm gonna try to cut it right across the grain so it's more tender. I'm just gonna cut it in half first. And I'm gonna cut it real thin as possible. I drained a lot of the blood from the meat. I'll stand it in a bowl when it's defrosting and most of the blood drains out. I'm gonna go ahead and finish cutting this, and when I'm done, I'll start recording again. But this is the beef that I have so far. It's thinly sliced. It'll cook faster this way and it will absorb the flavor this way too. I'm just gonna put whatever I have into the bowl for now. So now I'm gonna be mixing the meat with the marinade. I'm gonna use my hands for this. I know some people might not like it, but I'm gonna wash my hands and my nails real well after this. But your hands are really the best tool in the kitchen, and so I feel like this is the best way to mix the meat and the marinade together. I might just smell like onion and garlic when I go to work later. I could pour this over the meat instead of pouring the meat over the sauce. So when you do marinate this, if you're in a rush and you wanna cook the meat, I would say marinate it for 30 minutes. I would say halfway through, 15 minutes later, I would go ahead and mix this and then let it marinate for the rest of the 15 minutes, so a total of 30 at the very least. I may add a little bit more soy sauce. I'm going to add about another, maybe a quarter cup of soy sauce right over. So now I'm going to cover this and I'm going to let it chill in the refrigerator and marinate for at least 30 minutes before cooking. It's preferable if you marinate it overnight or for a couple hours. Here's what the beef looks like after about 30 minutes of marinating. I did add another quarter cup of soy sauce, so that's a total of 1.5 cups of soy sauce. And I added a few more dashes of pepper, as well as a few more dashes of the chipotle seasoning. There's several ways that I cook this beef. So the first and easiest way is to throw a whole bunch of this meat, either half of it or whatever portion you'll be using it for your meal. Dump it into a pot, cover it, maybe cook it for about 10 minutes and mix it around and it's done. Another way on doing it is kind of doing the same way, getting a lot of the liquid out and then frying it, or just frying it individually, which takes a long time, but it tastes so good. I don't want to make a big mess, nor do I have the time to be cooking this individually and frying it up, because that's where the flavor is. When you fry this up, it gives it a nice brown flavor. It tastes so good that way. So I'm gonna see if I can just put it in the pot, let it cook, and that way my sons can go ahead and eat before they leave to work. I decided I'll show you how I fry it up, and that's how it gives it the most flavor. I have it on medium heat right now. I think it's just a little bit too hot, so I'm just gonna shut off the heat for a minute. I have oil, and I'm just gonna put one by one on here. It shouldn't take too long to cook on each side. Make sure you don't overcrowd the pan. I have my pan here, so when it's done frying, I'm just going to put it into the pan. This one I think it can be turned down. Just two. You see the color? That's where it gives you the most flavor. If you're frying large batches of this beef, you might have to empty the oil. The oil does get dark and it might change the flavor of the beef. So you might have to just empty it and start fresh. You just need a few tablespoons of oil in each time you cook the beef. When it's almost done cooking, I like to swirl the meat around and pick up that flavor on the bottom of the pan. It should be done. Oh, that's a nice color. Okay, that's done. Maybe I'll lower the heat back. I don't want it to burn. That's done. Okay. And that's done. I adjusted the heat again. So before I put a new batch in, I lower the heat. And then once it's in there, I increase the heat just a little bit more. It should not be more than medium. And if you see the bottom getting too dark, then lower the heat. Right now I have it on medium low. I like this beef slightly undercooked. I don't like too much liquid coming out of the beef because then it tastes dry that way. All right, I'm gonna take this one out. Has nice color on both sides. My son wants to eat some already. He could, there is some cooked already. Okay, see, it's starting to dry up now. I gotta hurry up. You can take some of these juices actually and pour it right on top of the steak. Okay, let me put some more. Oh, and I'm gonna take out this onion. It's gonna burn. The onion and garlic that was marinating in the beef. So this is how much meat I cooked. If you had a family of 4 and you don't eat so much meat, this should be enough. But we have a family of 7. We have 3 big boys, that's including my husband. And here is the meat that I have left that's still marinating. So you see how much this can cook. And this was a total of 6 pounds, I believe a little over 6 pounds of beef. 6.19 pounds of beef. Here's the beef all cooked. I did slice up and fried some onions and put it on the top. You can serve this over rice and then your side vegetable. So we usually don't eat vegetable with this. We're kind of bad with eating vegetables, but if you want to eat it with broccoli, you could, or carrots, or whatever you prefer. My son is plating some food over his rice, or next to his rice. What do you think? Good? He's hungry. All right, guys. There's your evidence right there. He's eating fast. Here's our meal for right now. I will need to be cooking more to feed our family of 7, but at least my 2 sons and my mother-in-law can eat right now. So again, I mentioned before how you can just put everything in the pot and cook it that way. It doesn't have the same texture or the same flavor, but if you're in a pinch, you can do it that way. But whatever works for you and your family how to cook this, but this is our favorite way to cook it. It just takes more time and it does kind of smell the house, so I have the exhaust on. Anyway, hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. I will be making more recipes for you guys to enjoy. This is a very easy recipe. Hard to get it wrong or hard to ruin it. As long as you put the meat inside the marinade, let it at least marinate for 30 minutes, you're good to go. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye!